based on the true story of a high wire walker who had a dream, and that dream was to walk on a wire across the Twin Towers. I couldn't do that shit. Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome to a very blue video, but it all makes sense because I'm wearing my blue steel shirt. Now let's talk about the movie The Walk. Do you guys ever watch a movie based on real life people or true life events and think to yourself, I could probably do that? Yeah, this isn't one of those true life events where I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Because I have the balance of a Jenga tower constructed by someone who's blindfolded and intoxicated. That shit ain't gonna stand up very long. This film stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the real life Philippe Petit, and it's directed by Robert Zemeckis. Now this film is a biopic of this real life high wire walker, but the main story that it really focuses on, or especially in the second half of the film, is this man's obsession, his addiction to strapping a wire across the Twin Towers, walking across that. I'll edit that out. No, I won't. And we'll talk more about the epic climax of the movie in just a few seconds, but the first half of this movie is an origin story biopic of this man. It shows his early life, him as a street performer, and learning how to become a high wire artist. And I found a lot of those things very intriguing and fascinating, but with all that said, the first half of this film almost felt like a made-for-HBO movie at times, a well-made movie for HBO, but nevertheless, it felt a little bit underwhelming compared to the second half. And there's a lot of things that happen in the first half of this film that feel really dragged out and kind of slow down the pace of the movie. Once you get to the second half of the movie, that's where things get really good, really intriguing, and really intense. And speaking of intensity, throughout this film, they utilize a lot of POV shots, especially when he's walking across the tightrope. They have this shot of his feet looking down at the ground, and as a viewer, your palms start getting sweaty, you get all scared and nervous. I have a fear of heights, so when they put me in that situation where I can actually see what this guy's seeing, I'm just like, yeah, once again, that's some shit I will never do. Now, like I said a few seconds ago, this film is directed by Robert Zemeckis, and for me, I think he's a bit underrated. Because when a lot of people mention some of the best working directors today in Hollywood, no one really brings up Zemeckis' name. Zemeckis has always pushed the boundaries of filmmaking technology with films like Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Castaway, and Forrest Gump. And that's all I have to say about that. And the thing about all of Robert Zemeckis' films where he utilizes a lot of technology and CG, well, all of those movies, no matter how old they are, if they came out in the mid-1980s, early 1990s, they still hold up today. I mean, yeah, sure, little things here and there feel a little bit dated, but overall, they blend in with the story and they don't stand out. Now, like I said, the second half of this movie is one big climax of this man's attempt to walk across the Twin Towers, and it utilizes and relies on a lot of CG because it goes back to the 1970s. The Twin Towers at the time were under construction, so everything heavily relies on CG, and the film The Walk is no exception to this guy's ability to pull off amazing CG to blend it in with the story to get the viewer immersed into the movie. And very quickly, let's talk about Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing this real-life character. And I would say, as far as Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes, I like him. He's a down-to-earth actor. He has a likability about him, and I thought he brought a lot to this movie. And in this movie, he is playing a French character, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is an American actor, and he's doing his best attempt at a French accent. At times, does it just sound like an American guy attempting a French accent? Yeah, it sounds a little bit hokey at times. But then again, what the hell do I know about French accents? I'm from Indiana, and people think I'm from Canada sometimes the way I talk. I don't blame them. I sound Canadian sometimes. As far as Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes in this role, I thought he made the character likable and relatable, and that's what you have to do with movies like this and the character. Because the character, if you don't like this guy or care about him actually doing these things that he's attempting to do, well, the movie's going to fail. And I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt really kind of elevated the movie a little bit. Now here are my final flicking thoughts on the film The Walk. Like I said, the first half of this movie is a little bit underwhelming compared to the second half, which is perfectly executed and will give you your money's worth. Yeah, the first half of the film is a little bit boring at times and suffers from some pacing issues, but the second half, that's where the money is. That's what you want to go see. And if I had to base this movie just on the second half and give that a grade, I would say it's a solid A. But you know, there's another hour of this movie I have to factor in. So with everything said, I'm going to give this movie a solid B. It's an overall entertaining movie and I recommend checking it out. And keep this in mind when you're watching this movie. These things actually happen. This man did these things. All right, guys, so that's my take on the movie The Walk. Now, here's my question to you. Let me know down below in the comments section. What is your favorite movie of all time based on true life, real events? Mine would probably be Independence Day. What? That didn't really happen? Okay. I would probably say Wolf of Wall Street or Titanic. And by the way, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check out my last movie review for The Martian. Yeah, we talk about Matt Damon doing weird things on Mars, so that's a good time. Link to that video down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.